Hey guys, it's Chris from Hughes Combat Photography. I know I haven't made a video in a while. Just wanted to talk about something I did recently. I think I had talked in another video about using the Leica IIIa that I got last year and at the National Museum of the Pacific War in Fredericksburg several months ago, back in November. I used it with a 90mm lens, post-war lens, and got some pretty cool pictures, including this one very, very haunting image of a guy. Looks like he's escaping from a burning Amtrak. But after that, I got a cheap Hektor lens from the 1930s. That's 135mm. My camera is, as far as I can tell, it's 1937. So the lens is from the 1930s. This is something that would have been used during World War II. I'd read different things about the Hektor lens. Generally not real positive about it, that it's not a super high quality lens, that it's tends to produce distortion and blur. And even so, I got it for 50 bucks, and I thought, well, you know, what the heck, why not? It'll be period correct. So last weekend at the Museum of the American GI in College Station, they had their Living History weekend. I coordinated and wound up going out there and taking pictures of the reenactments on one of those days. And it was pretty cool. The results were pretty cool. So here's what I was shooting with. This is my Leica IIIa, okay, with the Hektor lens on it. This thing is old and beat up and repulsive and, of course, beautiful. It's really got a been there, done that look to it. Eventually, when I'm feeling not so cheap, I will replace this leatherette. But right now, it doesn't really matter. So the way I was running it was almost just like this, except that I had taped down the settings. So I've explained before, when I am shooting reenactments, I'm doing hyperfocal distance focusing. On this one, it was setting it at, this has a very high f-stop, f36, that is the max. So I set it at f36, focused it to 50 meters, roughly 150 feet, which gave me, I think it was from like 16 feet to infinity that I would have in focus on this. Now I have noticed with these older lenses, they tend to slip a little bit when you're moving, you know, hitting the dirt, all that stuff, when you're pretending you're in combat. So I taped down the f-stop, I taped down the focus distance, and I was using this VIOOH external viewfinder. This, you can set it to different lens settings from 35mm to 135. And last time I used this, I accidentally bumped it from one lens setting to the other one. So I taped this down too. The only other thing that's a little different how I was running this thing right here is a shutter button extender. It just makes it easier to find. It stands up a little higher. I didn't have it on there when I shot the reenactment. I got this recently in a lot of some other film stuff and just added it on there. I'm gonna have it on there for next time. But I had this hanging around my neck in this half of an Ever Ready case. It used to be a complete Ever Ready case, and then of course it fell apart when I was using it the first time, but still this part works. So this was around my neck. I had my speed graphic in my left hand, and I had my fake Leica II in a general purpose bag on my side. So wasn't really sure how this was going to work with the Hektor lens. I had tested it out, taking pictures just of some, you know, random stuff in town, and it was okay. But I didn't, you know, the camera was only operating at a couple of speeds. I didn't know exactly what the exact speeds were, and didn't know how well it was going to do. And then the day before I went to use this at the reenactment, I pulled out the camera, function tested it, and realized, holy cow, it's now working correctly. It's one of the things that I found with these old cameras is you exercise the shutters enough, it knocks out the grime, the obstructions, whatever is in the mechanism, and they start to work. So this thing started working again correctly. So I was shooting, it was very bright. I was shooting at, like I said, f36 and 100th of a second. And this thing basically operated like a dream. I had no hiccups with it, no problems. I had a roll supposed to be of 36. I actually got 37 shots out of it, although the last one came out kind of screwed up because it was at the very end, so it wasn't complete. But I got 30-something decent images out of this, and some of them were pretty freaking fantastic. So I just wanted to show y'all the kind of images I got from this. I did get some distortion. I did get some off-center blur. Even though I was at the tiniest aperture that I could possibly shoot at, you would think that at f/36 everything would be nice and sharp, but it wasn't. So I wouldn't use this for like portrait photography, anything like that, of course. But I would use it for simulated combat stuff where a little bit of distortion, a little bit of blur actually looks kind of cool. Again, you know, these are some of the pictures that I got. I was pretty friggin' happy with them. And I think I have settled now on my reenactment kit. It's going to be the speed graphic in my hand, this around my neck, the Fed Leica II clone in my bag. And I'm going to stick with that until maybe I'll get a real Leica II to replace the Fed. I don't know. But for right now, I think this is a really good setup. It's period correct. Or at least, you know, the Fed is made in the 50s, but still it's a clone of a camera made in the 30s. So that'll work for me right now. But it's pretty cool. Everything's working all right. And I think I'm going to stick with it for a while. So I just want to share these with y'all. If you have any questions, please hit me up. Again, Chris Hernandez, Houston Combat Photography. Until the next time, y'all go out there and take some pictures and have fun.